What's going on, film fans? Welcome back to our channel. We are the usual skeptics. Here we talk about entertainment news, movie reviews, streaming reviews, all that sorts of good stuff. Once again, here today talking Obi-Wan episode 5 spoilers. If that doesn't make any more abundantly clear, or the title of this description, please go watch the episode, come back and add this to your favorites, come back later. Or if you don't care, thank you for joining us. Wes, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. I hope you get to feeling better soon. But the show must go on. So I'm super glad to be sitting here talking about Obi-Wan this week. Let's dive right in, man. I'm ready to talk about it.
All right. So Obi-Wan, I think it's safe to say, has been a roller coaster of a ride. And I don't mean that in a good way. Look, episode 1 I think was awesome. Like the premiere, I thought was great. Episode 2, a little bit of a step down, but still very good. Didn't love it, but it was very good. Episode 3, I thought was great. A couple questionable nitpicks, but overall great. Episode 4 last week, you and I were kind of on the same boat. Like, it was kind of a mixed bag for me. And very rarely do I have to take back anything that I say upon first viewing of something. But the more I thought about last week's episode, the things that I didn't like about it, I didn't like it like even more. Like it bothered me. Like the whole, like the things in it were fine. Like with is it Reva? I still can't pronounce her name right.
It's Reva
and Kid Leia. I don't like to critique kid actors because kids are really hard to direct. I know, I've done it. At least with my own children, it's hard to do. So I don't give hard critiques on kid actors. However, the actress playing Leia, I think, is very good. I think she's better than she has any right being. Last week's episode, the scene with her and Reva talking, like, it's like, I don't know what it is, but with Moses, and I think we talked about this in our episode 4 review, was Reva, like, I liked her a lot in the first couple episodes, but last week's episode and this episode, I'm not gonna lie to you, I feel like she's been sleepwalking. I don't know what it is. I don't know if she's just having an off time on set, or whether it's the direction or the script or what it is, because Moses Ingram is a fantastic talent. She's a fabulous actress. She's very, very, very good. And when you see somebody do really, really good, it stands out like a sore thumb when they do something not so very good. So I thought that was one of the negatives for me in this episode. The flashbacks I thought I want to talk about more here in a minute, but they were cool to see, but they were, to me, really just visual noise. Because and we can talk about this here in a minute once you give your thoughts here and see what you think. But for me, those flashback scenes, like with Anakin and Obi-Wan, where they're twirling their sabers and fighting and all that kind of stuff, that to me was visual noise, in the sense of we didn't learn anything new than what we've already known prior. That we already knew Anakin was aggressive. We already knew he was feeding into his anger. We already knew that he's kind of leaning more towards the darker side of the Force. We've already known that. And when Obi-Wan's telling him, like, Anakin, you're supposed to save lives, not take them, and and we get a little more insight on how Reva survived the purge of the Jedi in Order 66, where she hid laying, with other children, and was pretty heartbreaking and kind of messed up for sure. But they've really done nothing for me as far as to me, she's had a weak character arc. Like, I liked her at first, like the first couple episodes, I thought, okay, this could be a compelling character, but that went up and then completely plateaued for me with the Reva character. So I thought that was really underwhelming, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know how they're gonna salvage that in the finale with literally one more episode to go. We're gonna say 45 minutes to an hour, because Disney Plus still does not know how to do regular length episodes. It's ridiculous. Anyway, um, some of the positives for me, I thought Vader, him wrecking shop is always fun to see. Him saying dialogue is always fun to hear. I thought a lot of that was great, but there was some things like in the dialogue that was very contradictory to what we've seen in previous episodes. And one of those being Vader, he's like, Obi-Wan's right where we want him. And it's like, okay, that's great. But you just told Reva that you knew that she was up to no good. So it's like, so you let her like fool you? Like that's not making any sense. And to me, I thought that was really annoying because Vader is a lot smarter than that. And for him to figure it out, like she's going to betray him, that's fine. That's completely in Vader as a character. But for him to purposefully let her manipulate the situation and he acts like he's surprised, but then he turns around and he's like, I knew you would betray me or whatever. It's like, which is it, bro? I thought that was really annoying. So there was like, as the series overall so far has been a roller coaster, this episode was a bit of a roller coaster. I don't know, Wes, what are your thoughts on the episode?
Um, I mean, like you were talking about with Reva, and last week's episode, I started thinking about it, and it was almost cringeworthy with her talking to Leia. Like it was, I was just like, man, like that was just it. Just didn't work for me. I was just like, man, like it was cringeworthy. But this week, I mean, I kind of enjoyed her character. And that's
Really?
just me. And like I said beforehand, like I haven't really been into Star Wars, but this episode, I enjoyed it a lot. The flashbacks, even, like I kind of like those. Those were really cool to me. Now,
Right.
yes, I know that we already knew all these things and did all that and blah blah blah, but I think
Right.
that uh, it's kind of a fan thing. Like, here you go, here's your Hayden Christensen type deal.
Yeah.
Here's his FaceTime. I think that that's kind of what they were doing there, which it is what it is. But
But you
like I
mentioning
told
that
you
just
before,
right quick, if they brought Hayden Christensen just for that flashback scene, I'm gonna be really disappointed. I'm not gonna lie.
right?
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
well,
But that's me.
I told you that my whole thing is I told you whenever I saw you today earlier that I was like, I'm worried for the end of the
You did
show.
say that.
Did I
Yeah.
not?
You did say you were
I
worried.
said I'm
Yeah.
worried for the you hadn't watched it yet.
I didn't
You're
watch
like,
it
don't
yet.
tell me. I was like, I'm not telling you. I'm just saying, like, I'm worried
Oh,
for
I'm
this
with
last
you.
episode.
I'm worried, and we'll talk about our thoughts on the finale and all that. Yeah, here in
Yeah.
a second. But yeah,
So,
yeah,
but anyway, like I really enjoyed um like the fight scenes and you know Reva betraying him, but then you find out that she is really against him and like trying to kill him. I get it. It was confusing because he did say, oh, a surprise, but then
yeah,
like that kind of got me too because I was just
yeah.
like,
I was
wait a
like, what?
minute, I don't wait, hold up.
Right,
So,
right.
but that brings me to saying, oh, so now I know why they were showing all those little kids back at the
Right.
very beginning in that first episode. I was like, oh,
Yeah, they
okay,
made
she's
that
one of the little
very
kids.
clear. Yeah, in
Right.
the
And I was like, oh,
opening
okay,
scene.
cool.
Yeah,
But I get it.
right.
You may have known that because you're big in Star Wars. I'm not. So I was just like, oh, okay, I get it.
Right.
And then, just Vader messing stuff up was great.
Oh,
And
he's tearing the ship
you know
apart.
what
I
the
thought it was kind of cool.
greatest thing about this entire episode was for me?
What's that?
DJ Inquisitor is back, baby. I was so excited.
DJ
He came out of
Inquisitor.
nowhere, and I said, I was like,
Oh my
DJ
God.
Inquisitor is back.
Okay, if
We
y'all
got the
don't
beats
know,
bumping,
if
son.
y'all don't know what Wes is talking about, so in our episode, was it one or two? It was our 1 and 2 spoiler discussion because they dropped both episodes at once. You were like, you were talking, and you were like, so he kind of looks like a DJ. Like we didn't know like his name or whatever. And he It's like he's a DJ Inquisitor, and I was like, oh my god! So that was a little inside baseball there. But
Yeah.
yes, let's talk about that for a second. So did you really? Because in my TikTok little quick spoiler review, which you can find at Voice of Film, that was one of the things that I talked about real quick was the Grand Inquisitor's back. He wasn't actually dead, but to me, I was kind of look. I didn't watch Rebels. At least all of it. I didn't watch all of Clone Wars. I tapped out. I tried rewatching it so many times because I have a lot of personal friends that were like, look, you need to get back and watch these episodes. Don't watch every episode. Just watch these episodes. And I'm like, I didn't like it, but okay. And I watched those episodes and I had to tap out. Clone Wars and Rebels was not for me. I don't think they're hot garbage. It's just not for me. But I guess the Grand Inquisitor plays a big role in Rebels, I guess. And I heard a lot of people kind of in film circles, like on Twitter and things like that. It's like, well, in canon, the Grand Inquisitor, he's actually supposed to be alive. So are they breaking canon or whatnot? Maybe he's not dead. So that's been kind of the rumor is like, oh, maybe he's not dead. But how many times have we seen people stabbed with a lightsaber and they just die? Qui-Gon. I feel like Qui-Gon's really like, really? Like everybody else gets stabbed. Anakin loses all of his limbs. I get stabbed. And then what? So it's like, really, bro? So I thought that was
I see
pretty
him
interesting.
coming around the corner, and I said,
Yeah.
no.
Bruh.
I said, Beats is back, baby.
Beats is
We're
back.
doing it. Bro,
Yes.
if they would have played some Darth Vader, like, techno music, I'd have died, bro. Like, that dude, number one,
He
guys,
looks
like, I
dope.
know I'm making fun of him. Like, and the way he looks.
We mean it
and
all in the best way.
That was just odd for me.
Yeah.
That was just odd for me. But I love the way this character looks. I like the actor that plays him. I think he does a great job. So I'm super excited about it. I just like it's just a joke. Like I really do enjoy the character.
DJ
like
Inquisitor.
But DJ Inquisitor, man, he looks like he's got beat headphones for ears, man. That's why I said that. So but literally, like I was so excited. I was like, oh, this is great. Now, that being said, I have no idea what's going on at the very end of this. Where they said something about the boy, and I'm like, okay, I know they're talking about Luke, but I'm like, what about I don't get it.
I'm in the same boat, and I'm glad you mentioned it because I'm in the exact same boat. Because now the only way I can interpret that scene and how the episode ends is Reva has obviously figured out, oh, Vader's kids, I kidnapped one of Vader's kids. Like, what in the world? Reva is obviously not dead. We're obviously going to see her in the finale. I don't know why Vader, what he does, he doesn't just let you, oh, stabby, and I'm going to leave and let you die. No, Vader, he in Rogue One, we've seen him use the Force by just doing this to choke you, right? And he's killed people just by simply doing this, right? With his hand. In Rogue One, he clenches his entire fist to break the necks of rebel soldiers. He gives no regard for life. If he does not like you, he will cancel your subscription to life. You are gone. And for him to stabby Reva and then walk out and leave, I thought that was really dumb. And I'm like, Vader would not have done that. He even stepped on Obi-Wan's cloak after he killed him in A New Hope
for a reason, though. I'm hoping. Now I'm hoping. Now,
right. Maybe they'll. Right. But in the moment, it aggravated me because I'm like,
yeah,
that's not what Vader would do. So
no, but I get it because he goes from that, from doing that to her, to going and trying to get all those people that were in that ship, and he just literally does this.
Oh, he's ripping it apart. Yeah,
and just rips it open. I'm like, okay, you couldn't have done that to her and like just crush her skull, or know what I'm saying? Like, so I get what you're coming at there, but Vader is very smart. You already said that before, so he could have left her alive for a reason. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he could have left her,
yeah,
which I'm hoping. Like I said, I've got big hopes for this next episode because it can either take a nosedive or it could be like, okay, like that was great. That's what I wanted. That's what I needed. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Before I talk about what our weather predictions and kind of our thoughts going to the finale, I want to save that for the very, very, very last. A couple of other things I wanted to point out was um Kamal Nanjiani is a treasure. I love him. I loved him in Eternals. I loved him in The Big Sick. This guy is awesome. I thought he was funny here. He was like, was it Obi-Wan or someone was telling him to tell Leia to hurry up? And he's like, hurry up. And she's like, I'm trying. And he's like, she said she's trying or something like that. I thought that was really funny. And like, he was like repeating her. I thought that was funny.
He's funny. He's naturally funny.
Is. Oh, he is. He's just that facial expression, the way he acts. He's great. And I love him. Thought it was great to see him back. We kind of predicted we'd see him again. All those people getting out. Look, am I the only one that didn't really feel the Tala death where she gets that thermal detonator and kind of basically kills herself?
Yeah.
That moment,
No,
they built it up like, oh, you've known this character for like 10 seasons and they're going to sacrifice themselves. I mean, they played it out like that. And then Obi-Wan's like, no. And it's in the slow motion. And
yeah, like you're supposed to really care about the person.
Like, if they would have made it quicker, like not slow motion and not like dragging out, I would have been like, well, that sucks, you know?
Yeah, but exactly.
I would have been like, oh,
they did. They drug it out a lot.
They
made it feel like it was, a Leia or something, dude. Like almost to that point. And it's like, no, wait. She's only been in like 2 episodes, man.
The actress is great. That's the mother of Sand in Game of Thrones. Is it Pedro Pascal's sister in Game of Thrones? Hilaria Sand or something like that. She's one of the folks in Game of Thrones. You didn't watch Game of Thrones? I thought we've talked about it before. Anyhow,
I just told you this before we got on here.
Did you?
I said I've never watched Game of Thrones.
Oh,
yes. Because you told me that. I was like,
didn't even know that. Sorry. Anyhow, but no. But she as an actress I thought was great. She wasn't a rebel soldier. She was an actual Imperial officer. And now I did like the scene. I'm gonna call it where it is. I mean, I'm calling the things I didn't like, but one of the things that I did like was I did like the dialogue exchange between her and was it Obi-Wan, where she was like, look, you know, I didn't know what the Imperial officers were doing. We went in and killed like 12 people, 6 of them were kids. And it's like, like I felt that, like, and you could feel it in her acting. I know, and you're like, ooh, and that made her like, look, I don't want to be part of this. And we heard her in last week's episode. She said, this isn't who I am. And even though that was a good scene, but again, last episode was kind of wishy-washy for me. But in this episode, there were some things that, you know, like I said, it some things annoyed me, but look. We've kind of rambled on about the one more thing that I thought was pretty dope was Vader. He's not even using his lightsaber, and he's just using like force, like
bro, like and blocking her, homie.
That was like pretty dope. Yeah,
that was.
I mean, he's just like he's not even using the force. He's just dodging her swings, and I'm like, dude, this is great.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. That was awesome. And then
that was great.
You know, she turns it into the double and she starts swinging it around, and then he just like
slows it down.
And he just slows it down, and then he like takes it from her, cracks it in two, and says, "Here, let's see what you can really do." You know what I mean?
Oh, that was so cool. And then he ended up with both of them, like in both hands, and I was like, "Brah!" Like, oh yeah, that was pretty cool. But I would have cared more if we cared about Reva. Look, I liked her in the first couple episodes. I mentioned this before. A lot of people were like, she feels kind of one note. Don't really know what they're doing with the character. And I'm like, from my own personal opinion, I'm getting exactly what I feel like I should be getting out of this character. She doesn't feel 2-dimensional. After it started with episode 3, she started to, like I said, plateau for me. And I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know why. What is it with the script and the dialogue and the acting and the direction? Like, and I love Deborah Chow. She's directed every episode this season. And dude, I don't know. And I've seen Deborah Chow do better than this. And I don't know what it was. And I said this earlier. Look, and I tweeted this last night. I was like, Obi-Wan is going to have to bring it home these next 2 episodes. They're really going to have to bring it home because overall, I haven't loved this show. After this newest episode, I'm in the same boat. If the next episode does not nail it, and if we get a mediocre or subpar episode, I'm going to have the same thoughts like I did with Hawkeye. I just ultimately didn't like it. There were things to like about it, but overall, and that to me, that's a bummer.
Overall, it was great.
But to me, that's a
So,
bummer. But what are some of your other positives with the episode before we kind of talk about our episode 6 finale predictions?
okay, so like I said, I really enjoyed the fight scenes and stuff that they had, even whenever they were fighting the stormtroopers, man. And they had the big gun that they come out and they were loading it in, and she's walking through, and she's telling them to fire and they're firing on it, and they open it up and like everybody's kind of fighting them, which I thought was really cool. They all came together, they all were sitting there and uh, I told you, I think some of the coolest things is like whenever they're using the lightsaber to deflect the shots. You know what I mean? Like, so that's one of my favorite things. So, but I enjoyed this episode. I thought
Yeah.
Reva did better than she did last week. But
There was some
you know,
dialogue that I thought was better, but overall, I have ultimately not liked the Reva character. I did at first, but to me there's just no room for redemption there. To me, they should have made a movie or nothing at all. There has been nothing in this series so far to me that says this season or series needed to be made. Like, yeah, they're obviously making it for, to put it on Disney Plus, to bring people to watch Disney Plus, to subscribe and all that kind of stuff. I get that. But you also want to put out great content. We have not seen great content out of Obi-Wan as a whole, at least for me. There are things that I've liked about it, but they're gonna have to do so many things. I'm hearing a rumor. I don't know if this is true, but I'm hearing that the finale is going to be an hour and a half. I don't know if that's accurate. If it is, great. If not, whatever. But I don't know how. Let's just go on the assumption it's going to be a 45-minute episode. So 7 minutes of credits. So a 42-minute episode, or a 38-minute episode, if you will. But what are they going to have to do in the finale to persuade you to be like, look, we did the best we could? What are they going to do in the finale to make it worthwhile, do you think, Wes, to
bro,
you
they're
know,
gonna have to. Like I told you, I'm worried about episode 6. I
I'm
did
worried.
enjoy this episode, but it's still on a downward slope. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I enjoyed it way more than I did last week's, but
Yeah, same here.
this week I'm just like, okay, I enjoyed the episode, but I'm like, how are they going to bring all of this together?
Oh no.
And do you know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of worried. Um, I told you that before. So they're going to have to close up things. They're also going to like,
It's kind of
you
feel
know,
like how our thoughts were on Moon Knight, the
right,
finale,
right, exactly.
because they obviously were heavily hinting at Jake. So you had the aspect of, are they bringing in Jake? How are they going to wrap up Harrow? How are they going to wrap up Amit? How are they going to wrap up the whole Layla thing? How are they going to wrap up? Like, there were so many things and elements that they were going to have to wrap up. And I'm like, I don't know if they can do it in 45 minutes. Dude, I'm in the same boat here. And I'm not going to lie. And I might shock you here. I don't have high hopes for next episode. I do not have high hopes. I'm actually going to go in expecting disappointment, because maybe me doing that will give me a solid episode and I'll be like, thumbs up for me. And again, we don't give scores here. We're kind of just saying whether we did or did not like it, because scores mean different for everybody. But I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm not excited for the Obi-Wan finale. I'm gonna watch it. We're gonna be talking about it a week from now, but I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like here's one thing that's really bugging me. In Revenge of the Sith, episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Yoda says, basically saying to Exile, I'll go. Obi-Wan, I have training for you from your other master. And he's like, Master Qui-Gon. And when they announced Obi-Wan, they interviewed Liam Neeson because he's been doing those, hey, the Neeson got to eat, man. He's just making these, he's a terrible parent.
Taking remakes, bro.
Taking remake. So he's doing an interview and they're like, hey, you're going to be an Obi-Wan. And he's like, oh, well, da, da, da. And that's great. Everyone loves Liam Neeson. But here's one thing that's been bugging me. Do you really think, look, you can argue that it's actually not that hard to learn, which is force, not projection, but force ghosting, where when Yoda dies, he becomes a force ghost. When Obi-Wan dies, he became a force ghost. And we've seen him in Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi as a force ghost. Well, how did Obi-Wan learn how to do that? Well, at the end of episode 3, you just assume, oh, Qui-Gon's going to teach him how to do that. Qui-Gon actually learned how to become a force ghost. And we have one episode left. So you're telling me they're going to wrap up the whole Obi-Wan, I'm going to loosely say this, arc. They're going to wrap up the Reva situation. They're going to how are they going to end? We haven't even had a great fight between Obi-Wan and Vader. Really? You brought Vader back for just a little bit of clink, 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 clink? And that's it? Like you and me said after that episode episode 3, we're like, bro, that episode was great. Them fighting was great, but oh, come on. I can't wait for them to fight again because they're going to fight again. Dude, I'm not so sure.
Right.
Are they
but that's
fight?
the whole thing. You know what they should have done? They should have had like 8 or 9 episodes. That's what they should have done.
Dude, we've been saying that every
you get what I'm saying?
Show.
So that they could, because
Marvel or DC or Marvel.
Whenever I said that, I was, thinking that Disney was smart in doing 8 or 9 episodes, but they're only doing 6. So it's like, how are they going to have
and
this
it's like 30 minutes? Yeah.
It's going to be literally 5 minutes.
And 7 minutes of those are credits. And you're like, I don't understand how you're going to wrap up that much. Like Leia's got to get back to Bail on Alderaan. You're going to have to, are you even going to bring in Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon? How are you going to wrap up the Anakin Vader stuff? I mean, we know how those characters end up. Yes. But why has Vader been so prominent here? Look, I mentioned this already. I'm just echoing myself here. I have seen nothing in episodes 1 through 5 so far to be, this is why the series was made. This is what I'm going to take from the series. I can go without watching if the finale does not give me something to squeal about in a good way. I'm not going to lie, dude. I'm probably not going to rewatch this thing because there's no reason to. What's the reason for me to watch this again? And to me, that's been so annoying with this series is there's not really a story. Now in episode 1, you and me would talk, we were like, so Leia, she's not going to be the MacGuffin. She's going to end up back on Alderaan pretty quick. And then we'll get moving on with Obi-Wan. Nope. It's been about him getting her back this whole time.
Yeah. And but it's at the same time, it's like, I know you're not excited about it. And it's, the thing is, you're a huge Star Wars fan.
I am.
I wasn't a Star Wars fan really before this. So now I'm actually kind of excited about this next episode.
Are you?
So it's a different view. You know what I mean? It's just a different view. And that's totally fine. It's just a different view from me because I was just like, I'm still kind of stoked about this season. I know that you're like, oh, it's a letdown and blah, blah, blah. I just, watching all those episodes, 1 through however many ones there are, and I know Star Wars people are going to come after me. It is what it is. But, I wasn't into those.
Yeah.
But I'm into this. Do you know what I mean? True. I'm into this. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I do hope that they like close everything and they can do all that. And I hope to God it is an hour and 30 minute,
Hope so,
but they'll say it's an hour and 30 minutes and then there'll be literally an hour worth of credits.
Yeah. You're not wrong. Like I said, I mean, I'm going to stand by that. I'm going to go in the finale not expecting much because I've been burnt way too many times in a row. I've been burnt with the Hawkeye finale. I've been burnt with the Moon Knight finale. I'm just so done with being so wrapped up in a finale because Disney doesn't seem to know how to make great television for
Stop bringing up
Disney
Hawkeye.
Plus. What's my least favorite Marvel Disney Plus show?
I don't care. It's one of the best ones for me. So
Man, that's all good. It's all subjective.
wrap it up.
Wrap it up. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I really hope that they really nail this because they got a lot to do. So I don't know, maybe we'll get a epic trailer as we had with the Hawkeye finale, with the Moon Knight finale, with the Falcon and Winter Soldier finale to be like, you know, that epic tune in to the season finale or series finale of blah, blah, blah. And it gets you so ramped up. Go ahead.
I've got it. I know what they can do in order for them to make this whole thing whole for me.
Okay.
A rave with DJ Inquisitor, bro. Has to happen. Has to.
How
Bro,
did-
I want him
Yeah.
up there like this.
He's got one hand up in the air spinning his double.
Yeah,
lightsaber,
dude.
Just,
And he's just up there
Yeah.
like, you know, stormtroopers getting it. You know what I'm saying? Bro,
That's
if they do that,
bruh.
if they do that and they do a remix of like the Imperial March, oh, bro,
Dude,
I'm in it to win it. If they did it, I'd be like, all right, cool.
That would
I watched
be-
this for a purpose.
yes.
For this purpose right here.
You talk about rewatchability, dude. You're welcome, Disney. We just wrote the finale for you. I just want an
Wrote the
hour and a half of the Grand Inquisitor spinning his lightsaber, fist
It's not
bumping.
Grand Inquisitor. It's DJ Inquisitor.
Sorry, DJ Inquisitorius. Is that what they called the base?
Yeah.
Inquisitorius. DJ Inquisitor busting the beats out, DJing with Vader breakdancing in the middle without his cape, just breakdancing. Let's go. That, I mean, you're welcome, Disney. You're welcome. We will accept
did
our
it.
checks, please.
We did it. Thank you.
So just yeah. Look, you heard our thoughts on this, guys. Let us know your thoughts below in the episode. Let us know what y'all think. Wes, where can people find you, my friend?
People can find me and ridicule me if they want to on at Wes Rathbone 86 on Twitter. Please hit me up. Let me know what y'all think about the episodes. I do want to thank everybody that has subscribed and watched our videos. We do appreciate it, man. We really do love doing this for y'all and really for us too. So thank you guys so much. And Gabe, tell them where they can find you, my friend.
All right. Y'all can find me simply at Voice of Film on TikTok and Twitter, where I post daily content over there, entertainment news, fan related content, streaming movies, all that sorts of good stuff as we do here. You can also support us by looking right here at the www.streamelements.com/theusualskeptics/tip. You can support Wes and I and our channel. That would be greatly appreciated. If you like what you see, definitely drop a like he said, a comment on your what's been your favorite moment of Obi-Wan so far. Are you excited for the finale? Are you kind of going in kind of underwhelmed, kind of like I am as a whole? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to check our content regular. We haven't really figured out a posting schedule yet. It's been Wednesdays for sure because of the newer content coming out, and we're going straight into She-Hulk here soon, and we got the Game of Thrones prequel coming out, which can't wait to see. We got the Lord of the Rings series coming. Can't wait to see. So we got a lot of content
And you
coming our
cannot
way.
forget about The Boys.
Oh, The Boys.
On Fridays.
Bruh. The Boys, the greatest thing on TV right now. So be sure to check us out there. Like you said, thank you to all the ones that have subscribed over the past couple of days. We appreciate that. And you can find Wes and me on, like I said, on Twitter, and you can find our handles right here below. Just check that out. Thank you for joining us, and we will see y'all in the next video.